All right, fellow world builders, welcome. Today, we're going to dive into something truly revolutionary. We're talking about a new way to engineer entire universes, not just tell a single story. We're going to explore how you can build these incredibly deep, interconnected worlds that are designed right from the get-go to spread across any kind of media you can dream up.
So let's kick things off with this mind-bending idea, which this quote just nails. What if your stories could literally start writing themselves into reality? Now, this isn't some kind of magic. It's an incredibly powerful narrative principle, and it is the foundation for everything we're about to get into. It's this idea that a fiction, if it's compelling enough, can actually start to shape the world it's describing.
Okay, here's our game plan. We're going to start with this big idea, the power of hyperstition. Then we'll look at the engine of creation that makes it all work. We'll see what that engine actually produces, these things called narrative artifacts, and how they come together to form a story world core. And then the grand finale, how that core becomes the launch pad for a whole transmedia universe. Let's do this.
All right, first up, the power of hyperstition. So what on earth is it, really? Let's pin this down because this one concept is the engine that drives this entire approach to world building. So, hyperstition. Think of it like this. It's when a story becomes so potent, so believable, it starts to feel real. For what we're doing here, we're using this as a powerful narrative tool. It's a method for creating a world that just feels alive, like a breathing ecosystem of lore that's actively shaping the events inside your story from day one. It gives your world this incredible, discoverable depth. So how do we actually harness this power? I mean, it's one thing to have a cool idea, but how do you put it to work? Well, that brings us to the engine of creation itself, the Hyperstititional Library. This image really shows you the core process perfectly. It's a creative dialogue. You, the world builder, you provide the spark. Maybe it's a theme, a character, an event. And the AI agent, this librarian, it responds by generating all this imaginative content that expands your world in ways you never could have predicted. So this isn't some passive tool. It's an active creative partner. It's designed for maximum creative surprise. So what does this engine actually produce? What does it spit out? It doesn't just create plot summaries. No, it forges the very documents, the artifacts, that make a world feel tangible and real. And this is the toolkit. We're talking about the whole shebang. Everything from intimate personal letters and diaries to official government decrees, encyclopedia entries, even old news clippings. By creating this whole spectrum of in-world artifacts, you're not just spoon-feeding lore to your audience, you're building a web of evidence that lets them discover it for themselves.
Okay, let's get our hands dirty and break one of these down. On the left, you see this letter from an alchemist, Dr. Aurelius. And on the right, that's the blueprint it's built on. Every single artifact, I don't care how small, follows this strict four-part structure. And this is what makes the entire lore base searchable, coherent, and deeply interconnected. It's the secret sauce. Now, check this out. This is where the magic really happens. Look at how much we learn about this Dr. Aurelius guy from just one short letter. His intensity, his paranoia, his legendary ambition, the fact that he's both a scholar but also super cautious, it's all there, revealed totally naturally through the text. No narrator needed. This is showing, not telling, on a whole other level. And to make these artifacts feel truly grounded, they're not just created in a vacuum. As you can see here, each one gets filtered through these 5 forces that would shape any document in our own world. Things like the available technology, social norms, politics, you name it. This is what makes every piece feel authentic to its specific time and place in your world. Okay, so you've gone through this whole process. You've forged all these interconnected, super realistic artifacts. Now what? What do you actually have at the end of the day? You get what's called a story world core. And this is the key takeaway right here. The result isn't a finished script for one movie. No way. It's a foundational, scalable IP asset. It's a searchable archive of all your artifacts, a story Bible that pulls all the lore together, and even some narrative threads that show how you can weave these pieces into amazing stories. It's built for adaptation right from its DNA. And this is where the true potential is just completely unlocked. Let's see how the story world core can expand into a full-fledged, sprawling transmedia universe. Think of the story world core as the sun at the center of your creative solar system. Because the lore is so deep and the artifacts are so modular, it becomes this natural springboard for film, for games, for books, whatever you want. This isn't about just creating one story. It's about engineering a universe that can sustain a long-term, multi-platform franchise. And you can totally see how this plays out, right? For a TV series, that archive is a goldmine of backstories and plot hooks. For a video game, these documents are the lore items that players find in the world. You could take one of those little related document links we saw on the Alchemist letter and spin that out into a whole comic book series. The modular design is a launchpad for literally any media you can think of. So, the crucial point here is that this whole method gives you a massive strategic advantage. You get that inherent depth from day one, so you avoid that shallow, tacked-on lore that plagues so many big franchises. It's also incredibly efficient at generating a complex web of story assets, and the entire thing is built from the ground up to be adapted and expanded across any platform. It's just a superior model.
Ultimately, this is more than just a new tool. It's a completely new way of thinking about storytelling. By building a world that's deeply layered and consistent right from its very foundation, this framework empowers the next generation of rich, immersive, and truly enduring narrative experiences. So the only question left is, what universe will you engineer?